Holy shit. We're gonna need a bigger podcast. I'm Randy.
Hi, I'm the firework that goes off on July 2nd at 11:45 p.m., even though everyone knows that it's 2 days early, and now all the dogs are howling in the middle of the night. Thanks, idiot. Connie.
I'm the designated bucket that Gamora yeets the cowbell into in Guardians of the Galaxy Awesome Mix Live. Darcy.
Woo, hottest 4th of July we've had in years. We've come a long way, though, since the turn of the century over 20 some odd years ago. You know that pilot fella, Charles Lindbergh? He's about to fly a single-wing airplane all the way across the fucking Atlantic. He's never gonna make it. And sports stadiums are springing up all over. And boy, nobody hits that old horse hide like that new fella Babe Ruth.
And welcome to a new episode of Mistresses of Mayhem.
I'm Mel.
Okay, wow. Here we are once again.
God, I can't believe you cut my intro off like 20 minutes short.
In true midsummer fashion, we are recording in broad daylight to give you the heebie-jeebies.
Disgusting.
Full disclosure, have not seen Midsummer yet.
Oh, me neither. I need to.
I know, I really want to. Okay, welcome to a new episode of Mistresses of Mayhem. It's July 4th, so for presumably our mostly American audience, although I think some of you are British, happy Independence Day, and if not, happy July 4th.
I hate everybody who comes into my job because this entire past week they kept saying Happy 4th, Happy 4th. That's not the name of the holiday, you guys. It's Independence Day. Happy 4th. The 4th of what?
The fourth dimension.
Oh, I like that. I support that one.
Yeah. Maybe that's the one that we're in. I don't know.
Ooh.
Okay, so we have 2 announcements to talk about. We're going to keep this episode pretty short and sweet because, you know, we got fireworks to eat. Sure.
I have been hungry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would also like to point out before we get underway too far, I have, in fact, procured myself an alcoholic beverage.
Whoa.
I know. That's not the exciting part, though. I will be playing the Mistresses of Mayhem drinking game. This is where I drink every time Connie says something incomprehensibly strange. Every time Darcy mentions Awesome Mix Live or Nemo, either one.
Oh, that's gonna be a lot.
Yeah, I know.
We'll be chugging.
Randy, every time you're sexually attracted to something that you shouldn't be. And for myself, every time I reference male genitalia. So if you ever hear me just out of nowhere be like dick, it's because I want to drink.
Well, hopefully the rest of us will keep you busy enough that won't be a problem.
Absolutely. Penis.
Okay, well, you actually watched this last time, so who even knows?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Has been.
I just want to point one thing out. I looked at our video for the past episode where we talked about Universal monsters, and someone in the comments actually was like, "Do you mean Frankenstein's monster?" And I was like, "Oh my god!
Oh my god!"
What?
Whoever said that, honestly, yes, that's exactly what we meant. But in normal conversation,
now,
we just say Frankenstein.
I mean, I would like to know whether they think Frankenstein's monster doesn't deserve to take his father's last name just because his father threw him out. Disgusting.
Wow,
He is Frankenstein.
That would be like if I was called, like, I don't know, Smith's unwanted child as, like, my name, and then my parents adopted me and they just left it as that.
Oh my god.
Hi, my name is Melody Smith's unwanted disease.
I'm unwanted spawn.
That's me.
Well, speaking of spawn, time to get into the first house that's been announced since we went away, which is Depths of Fear.
Blub, 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 blub,
glub, 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 glub. We are budfish.
And that's how I feel about it.
I am actually excited to be underwater once more.
There are things in here that are good. There are things in here that I'm not sure about.
The house.
I don't care about the house. I just literally want to be underwater.
Well, Connie, there's this thing called the ocean.
Or the pool.
Or a pool. Bitch, your bathtub.
What the fuck are those things?
No wonder you smell so bad.
Okay, so per the Halloween Horror Nights website, It's because I'm a well-researched hoe.
Which is the only source that we trust here on this podcast.
And that's the tea.
That is really the tea. Listen, I know a lot of lovely people who run HHN websites who discuss all kinds of things. There's so many great people in that community, but oh my God, is it also saturated with garbage? And for that exact reason, I believe nothing until Universal says it.
Well,
Yeah.
I just like
That's
to point
why
out
I don't think Ghostbusters is coming to the event, because when Universal was asked, they said your mom.
I for one,
Did
Melody,
you guys
I
see
would
that?
no.
Yeah,
Oh
that was
my
amazing.
God. So, whoops, Universal, I guess, leaked a Ghostbusters promo image, maybe, on the website. I really don't know the validity of that. But either way, someone tweeted the supposedly leaked image at Universal, and they said, who are you going to call? And the official Horror Nights account responded, your mom.
Ooh.
And I was like, you know what? This is great. This is how social media should be.
I mean, honestly, that's it.
Yeah.
But before we get into
Oh yeah,
that,
also I'm drinking for Connie not knowing what water is.
that's solid.
And I would like to just say one thing, Melody,
also
before we
probably
go back to
For
this.
the first comment we've gotten. So does this mean we finally get sexy Fishman?
Yes. One. Yes. That's it. Yes.
Yes.
I'll judge that.
Okay, but you say finally we get sexy fishmen, as if the Dead Man's Wharf fishmen were not sexy already.
The Dead Man's Wharf fishmen walked so that mouth brooders could run. Okay.
The winner of the night, it's over.
All right. 10 minutes in, I'm crushed.
This is it. Goodbye, guys.
Wasn't there something called like dick bookers or something? But it's what is it again? Mouth brooders?
Mouth brooders.
Listen, I know that that's a real thing, okay? But there's all kinds of real things that haunted house characters should not be named after. Okay, I wouldn't want to be in a haunted house and be like, oh my God, what is your name, character? And they're like Dick Cheney. You know, it's something you just shouldn't use, and that's not scary to me.
Melanie, I hate to interrupt this jam you've got going here, but do you regularly ask characters in haunted houses what their names are?
Yes! I really do. And haunted houses they can talk, I try to get their name out of them.
And you just go up to them and go, who are you? Who are you?
Who are you? Where is she?
Where are the drugs? Where's Rachel?
I'll like in the basement, I asked every character, like as we started talking, I'd be like, oh wait, what's your name? Before we got any further. Because like I wanted to have something to call them, so it's not just like, hey, clown. You know?
I don't know. People address me as that on the street all the time.
I want people to call me a clown.
Oh,
you guys have to read the press release. Let me read the press release.
Okay. Pearl, shut up.
Depths of fear. The workers of a deep-sea mining company have found themselves in a dire situation. They've delved too deep and encountered a parasitic race of creatures that turn out to be deadly. Panic ensues as you find yourself encountering infected miners and acidic creatures. The pressure builds as the self-destruct sequence counts down to the inevitable implosion of the facility. Mouth brooders, quotation marks around mouth brooders from the article, will be spewing flesh-eating acid and eggs at us.
Ooh, can we keep the eggs?
Based on the tone of voice you read that in, I'm going to drink for Randy is sexually attracted to something appropriate.
They're just spewing so much.
But
I'm wildly emetophobic.
all of the eggs they're spewing at us, do we get to take them home with us? Can we keep the eggs?
So. Do you think they'll hatch?
Yes, in my mouth.
Like in
sexy fish baby.
Yes.
Yeah. It'll be like
grow your own sexy fish boyfriend.
You can get like a fish in a bag.
We should make merch that's just like grow your own fishy sex boyfriend.
Yes.
Grow your own sexy fish boyfriend.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here, and that is a pun, and say that this is this year's Seeds of Extinction. Like, I'm just wildly unsure about a lot of things that are happening in here, and if they can be executed well.
I agree. And I feel like it's sort of, so I think this kind of started in 2007. We had Scarecrow, which was like a vague concept that had a big focus on big scares and was a huge success. And I feel like while Seeds wasn't exactly that in the sense that it didn't have the same level of scares, it was the same level of like vague, like scary plants. But then they did something really cool with it. And I like totally agree that this is that of this year. It's like a sort of a vague concept. We got submarines, underwater, fishmen, mouth dick suckers, like I don't know, all kinds of things. Let me take a drink, excuse me.
Have you, while you're doing that, have any of you Googled the word mouth brooders? Because I just did, and they're so cute. They're like gargling their babies.
I did the day it was announced, but let me look again.
They're so cute. Look at that big ass face with their big ass mouth full of babies.
Are they related to anglerfish? I'm gonna find out. Because I remember I had to do a report on anglerfish in like the 4th grade, and I talked about their mating habits, and everyone in my conservative Christian private school like murdered me.
Oh, I know what this thing is. Oh, it is gargling its babies.
It's gargling its babies.
Yeah, I thought that was no. That's exactly what it's doing. Okay, yeah, this is actually really cute and not scary in the slightest. Like, I know it's not actually going to look like this.
No, yeah.
But, like, if this is their inspiration, he real silly.
Well, mouth brooder just means they're brooding their babies. The brood is in their mouth. So it could be any kind of fish as long as they mouth brood.
Oh, I guess. But I'm looking at a lot of different pictures, and they all just look like fish.
Aren't they cute?
Yeah.
Huh.
Let's check the YouTube. Yes, Carnage DeCarlo, they are just going to barf up eggs at us.
Okay, perfect.
I'm going to hate this house. So there's a couple elements that I want to point out in here. So number one, they find like the race of mouth brooders and then they infect the miners that are already there.
Right. Well, right?
Yeah, that's in my thing.
To specify,
and there's also
these are miners as in people who work in a mine, and not minors as in why don't you have a seat? My name is Chris Hansen, right?
Yes, these are people who work in a deep sea mining operation.
All right, I'm still gonna have a seat though.
We need to have like a special, you know how like some accents, pen and pin sound the same. We need like a way to differentiate minor from minor. And I think the way to do that is that anyone who's under 18 is a minor, and anyone who mines is a minor 49er. And that's the way.
Call them 49ers, honestly.
Yes. So this is going to be called 49er the house. It's like 69er the house, but a little bit different.
That's the upcharge experience.
Drink.
Okay, but honestly, I am. Honestly, though, like what characters this year would you be 69ing? Because that would determine whether or not I would.
Gilman, ask and answer.
Clowns.
Well, yeah, okay.
The mouth brooders' mouths are so big. I mean, you could do a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, it's got like unlimited capacity. That's true. Nobody has enough dick for that.
We're all going to jail.
This is terrible. We should move on.
Yeah, I just hope we're not 69ing with minors.
Oh, only consensual adults.
Okay,
and fish people.
Consensual fish people.
So the thing that actually is making me like, oh, that could be interesting is they're talking about how this is leading to the implosion of the submarine.
Yes. That
like you're racing the clock to a self-destruct. And I'm like, that could be interesting to see how that works in a haunted house. Like, will we see?
That's an escape room.
And it's the demise you deserve.
That's an escape room is what that is.
Yeah, literally. That's under pressure and escapology.
Under pressure.
Great, now we're gonna get sued.
Sorry, escapology. But they're really famous, so they could probably handle it.
Yeah, they're probably fine. I do like the idea of like this actually reminded me back when we were doing our like what if episode when Connie was like, and then you get to the end of her version of Gates of Ruin and Pandora's box is broken and you can't like fix it, and this reminds me of that like weird kind of hopeless ending in a way. Like it's kind of interesting.
I just hope that we get souvenir eggs to take home.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on that idea. I hope that they're like little plastic Easter eggs, and inside there's like something fun, like some parasite or something that will kill us before we can come back to the event again or something. I don't know.
You know, there's just a little tapeworm in there to take home.
Okay, I just need to stop this right now because of a comment that was left.
Please.
69, the Demogorgon, you cowards.
He's too famous. We'll never be able to get to him.
Oh my god, that's great.
Fingers would be good for something.
Oh my god. Okay. So I'm really on the fence about this house. Some people have mentioned that they think it could be like our BioShock aesthetics that we've been wanting for years.
But it also looks like a straight up Knott's ripoff.
I mean, yeah.
And I like, I don't know. I know that it happens all the time, but often it seems to be with Knott's houses that are like kind of done with their run. You know, they've been there for like 4 years and are about to retire. And Horror Nights is like, hey, this is a cool concept. Let's do our own thing on it. But like, wasn't there Submarine underwater house like it's opened last year?
Yep.
It's recent. Yeah, it's
She's
new.
fresh. She's fresh and she's still happening, just like me. And I don't. Okay.
Yeah. Initially, I was like, cool it with the Knott's comparisons, but it did become clearer and clearer, and I finally watched footage of that Knott's house. I was like, oh,
this is kind of what was described.
yeah.
That, and then listen, I'm pretty sure anyone who listens to this keeps up with the rumor mill. And at one point, there was a very heavy rumor that Tooth Fairy is going to be a house. That rumor seems to have dropped. Regardless, in 1 year, like we had our initial like speculation list, and it had 2 famous Knott's houses basically, ripped off. And that
Tooth Fairy was fully the same.
Exactly. And that really ticked me off because I'm like, I know y'all got more in you than this. I know we're saving the good for 30, but like, it was very questionable. And my feelings have remained the same now that we've dropped down to 1, even though a lot of it was like, wow, 2 Knott's inspired concepts. Not that Knott's was the first to do these things. They just did them really recently.
And really well. And really well.
Yeah, really well. And I would say Knott's is the closest comparison to HHN as far as events that really exists anywhere. In fact, I would say Knott's is more similar to HHN Orlando than HHN Hollywood is similar to HHN Orlando.
Oh, completely.
So, it just kind of makes me, it makes me a little less excited when I feel like it's something that could have been done differently than it is, or that could have just had a totally different concept and saved this for later. But you know what? What do I know? I thought Seeds sounded dumb, and I loved it. So,
yeah, I mean, we all really were like very skeptical about Seeds when it was first.
And then we were like, the Seeds stands.
Yeah,
we loved it.
Skeptical. I have, do you want to know what I'm genuinely looking forward to in this house, Depths of Fear?
The fucking
and this
eggs.
is not a joke. This is not a joke. This is serious.
Say something really dumb.
No, it's real. I feel like I've made my character too bad. Connie is the person. Anyways, I'm excited to pass windows that have that like water reflection light thing going on. You know that thing.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, yeah.
Or even okay. Shout out to like my slightly older school Epcot fans. Do you remember the hydrolators with the bubbles going past the window, so it looked like you were like going underwater? They better do that. We need more than just that.
That would be awesome.
Aesthetic. We need the fucking bubble windows.
And
I demand quality.
Yeah. Quality bubbles.
In fact, just put the whole house in the living seas.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so you're catering to me specifically here.
Yes. I am. I agree. But also me, I love the living seas. Let's do it. Let's put the house in there, okay? And you don't have to put anything behind the windows. Just put the walls of the submarine along the walls of the tanks and have the windows show the tank. It's going to be the most realistic depiction of being underwater because you're basically underwater.
Keep playing the fucking Big Blue World song, though.
Yes. Continue with the Finding Nemo soundtrack.
So we want to have the Finding Nemo soundtrack inside of Depths of Fear. I got that right? That's what we want?
Yeah.
I mean, watch there be a Nemo cameo. I mean, really.
Oh, they're
Watch them find a way to
definitely
sneak him in there.
Didn't you know clownfish are a mouth breeder?
Are they really?
No, I don't know, but they're also called clownfish, which is hilarious.
Oh my god, clownfish dick. Wait, we've done this before.
Yeah.
We definitely have. And it has
Yeah, I
definitely been in reference to Darcy.
We're going to jail.
Fully. Okay. So, any other thoughts on Depths of Fear before we skedaddle on down?
Do we have to get infected with that like neon pustules deal? Because that's a deal breaker for me. I don't really like that on my skin.
Yeah, I have very sensitive skin.
I can recommend some Bath and Body Works moisturizers for that.
Ooh.
Oh my
But
god.
yeah, I don't know. I think I feel like this is one that I don't have a super strong opinion on yet, other than my initial negative responses to the concept, because I really have no idea what it's going to look like in there. Everyone
That's
says
true.
BioShock aesthetic. I've not played BioShock. I have no familiarity with BioShock. I'm sure it's amazing. I'm happy for everyone that loves it. Video games are not my arena. So I feel like people who are into that kind of thing have a much stronger point of reference for what they're going to see. I'm really just sad that it's not going to be literally just Poseidon's HHN in a heartbeat.
I will say this as someone who puts BioShock as one of their favorite video games of all time. This sounds a lot more industrial. The whole point of BioShock is that it's an Art Deco tunnel city underwater. And this sounds different, honestly.
Yeah, this does not give me Art Deco vibes at all.
Right. It doesn't sound ornate. It doesn't sound like an affluent
No, it sounds like a
metropolis
mining
that has
submarine.
succumbed to madness. This is a mining operation.
Yeah.
It's coming from someone who currently lives in Pittsburgh, which is like very much that kind of industrial aesthetic. It's awful and it makes me sad.
Yeah, so like people who were like, "Oh, is this going to be like our BioShock?" I'm like, I don't think it is.
I think it's going to be underwater.
I think where the similarities end is it's going to be underwater.
Yeah. Underwater.
Do we think there will be like anthropomorphic creature from the Black Lagoon?
Balloon.
I mean, you know, I always
From the
hope so,
Black
but
balloon, like fuckable kind of fishmen, or do we think there's going to be like fish puppets?
I would love puppets, honestly. Like, we're gonna get Gilman.
Oh wow, we're talking about fish puppets. Now we're really catering to Darcy. Imagine if it's literally just the same like setup that they use for Finding Nemo the musical.
No.
You see the actor
It can't be the Finding Nemo the musical puppets. It has to be the shitty bootleg knockoffs that are in the Disneyland Paris parade.
Oh,
ooh.
yes. I agree.
On this
I'm gonna.
Incredible.
Yes, that's gonna be the
We want
house.
the house of just the Jessica Rabbit costume.
Please. And the scary fairy godmother from Japan.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's scary.
Honestly, okay. Real talk, a house of this would be too niche and HHN would never do it, but I bet another place would do it. I don't know where, but like I feel like somewhere else you can have this concept anywhere that wants it. Like disgruntled amusement park employees take to the streets to murder in their costumes.
Yes.
Like, what a basic idea, but somewhere to do that is a scare zone. It'd be so easy. You've got
honestly, yes, and I feel like
princesses. You've got like a knockoff Mickey. You know, you've got like an evil duck all covered in blood. Like you got so many options.
that's just like a whole subsection of creepypastas too. Like they're all just that.
Yeah.
Like creepy theme park is just what it is, y'all. Like
everybody likes creepy theme park.
Yeah.
Creepy park.
I was trying to find a way to combine those things without saying cream parks, but
okay. We must move on. We must ascend the mountain to the Yeti, the terror of the Yukon.
Yucatan?
That would be interesting, but no, this is the Yukon.
Oh, that's less. My brain kept saying Yucatan. Okay, cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, not a Mexican Yeti. That's
that'd be great.
I'm really into it.
I shouldn't be alive. I'm so sorry, guys.
There's just like mariachi band music playing as the Yeti flies out at you.
The Yeti has enjoyed a margarita and is now coming to get you.
Oh, I don't want to get into any bad stereotypes.
Same, I don't either. I was thinking of like Epcot Yeti. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I do want to ride the Mexico ride at Epcot, but with the Yeti from Expedition Everest in it.
Yes.
just put him there. He'll work again.
Put the Yeti where the Donald Duck pinata is right now.
Yes.
Yes.
Right now. Put Betty right there.
Okay, so I will now read the press release for the Yeti house.
Thank you, Mom.
Okay.
I am a trained Shakespearean actor. Thank you. Deep in the remote tundra of the Yukon, loggers and trappers seek refuge in the grip of an Arctic blizzard. But out in the darkness, a terror lurks far more dangerous than the deluge of snow and ice. Enter a logging camp that has been torn apart, floors caked with snow, bones, and gore. There is no escape from beasts as brutal as winter. So this is better than Swamp Yeti, and that's what I have to say.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but still, I have to say, from the originals, this one's probably dead last for me.
Yeah, you might be right.
I know everybody loves winter aesthetic, but here's the thing. Do you love winter aesthetic, or do you love winter aesthetic when it's laid on top of Victorian architecture?
And that's the tea!
When people bring up the houses they love that were winter, it's always like Winter's Night and Body Collectors, both of which, it wasn't the fact that it was winter, it was the fact that it was these beautiful, like, period accurate buildings that were then frozen over. So,
now, whoa. What about our favorite winter house, Krampus?
Did anybody praise that for having perfect winter aesthetic, though?
I love the house, the inside of the house, the living room.
Yeah, I know. You like because it felt like a real person's house. Connie, that's not valid.
No, Connie, not valid.
Whatever, for the same reason.
Civil War. Please read the comments.
Oh, I can't. I'm on my phone. What does it say?
Okay. So this Yeti movie is in the same cinematic universe as Swamp Yeti, and the two battle each other in HHN 30, which will be the Avengers of this fake cinematic universe in the theme park universe.
Oh my god.
Swamp Yeti Civil War!
Honestly, I didn't see the Marvel Civil War, but I will totally watch the Yeti Civil War.
I'm ready for Yetis fighting each other.
We are Mom Spaghetti.
Knees weak Yeti.
Can I go, because we're talking about this Yeti snow deal, can I go on a small tangent about something that's on their website? It says under the description of the house, you're likely to find the remains of those who came before you and meet their same demise. Now, I don't know if you've ever learned about, like, what's that big mountain called? Everest.
Everest?
I'm sorry.
The only valid one.
I almost said The Exorcist.
On top of it, it's just Reagan spinning her head around on the peak.
Oh no, but people who die on their way up to Mount Everest, they like freeze in the same position they sat down in.
Oh yeah, and they just stay there.
So it'd be cool if we went in there, we just saw like people just sitting like they're alive but they're frozen. I think that'd be a cool aesthetic.
Yeah,
I 100% think that's going to be a big part of this house. I think we're going to see woods, cabins, and dead bodies frozen on the ground. I'm not saying I know any of this for sure. It's just an assumption.
I mean, It's going to be in the woods. They said the word cabin in the thing.
It's set in Canada. Obviously, we're going to go to Tim Hortons.
There's a Tim Hortons stand outside. You can get a donut.
That'd be great. Honestly, I do hope that there's like, I don't know. I hope there's a lot of fun Easter eggs because I feel like, I'm going to be honest, this concept does not appeal to me at all. I thought the Swamp Yeti was the most boring, lame part of all of Slaughter Cinema.
It is. It was a good scare, but it wasn't scenically exciting or anything.
Exactly. Yes, it was a good scare because it was a really tall, big thing coming out in the very dark with a bright light and a really, really loud sound.
I do love tall boys, though.
I also love tall boys, but tall boys come in shapes and sizes that aren't Yeti. No offense to the Yetis, I still love you, but like, it's, you know what I mean. It doesn't. I don't know. I thought that was the least impressive section of that house, and I know that this is a totally different thing, and the only commonality is Yetis. But then again, that's kind of a huge commonality because that's a very specific thing. Like, I don't know. It's not. It's like it's a Yeti. How different are they going to be from one another?
Yeah.
And
This one has strobes and it doesn't move.
What was that?
This one has strobes and it doesn't move.
Great.
Imagine being that.
Did you say this one moves?
I really hope they have a reference to Expedition Everest in there, even if it's just like a, I don't know, like a dead body wearing one of those like Expedition Everest T-shirts or holding one of those cute little stuffed Yetis. That'd be cute. But
I want a stuffed Yeti.
One of them eating Yak and Yeti is the answer. Like
they could
someone
put
who's eating
Figment in
people, right?
Seeds of Extinction.
Exactly. I do like that.
What?
Oh, Figment was in Seeds of Extinction.
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Connie?
Oh, I think I might have freezed out because I heard nothing for a big chunk of time. But that's okay.
Oh, I also just did that, so.
Yeah, we were talking about how Figment was in Seeds of Extinction, so of course they can get a Expedition Everest Yeti reference into.
I mean, why not? They have all the power in the universe.
I just really like that Journey to Imagination canonically exists in the same universe as Carnival Graveyard.
Yeah!
Lit.
Figment is in there now, so is Buzzy.
I wouldn't be surprised if the whole ass green
That's where Buzzy
went. Buzzy went to the South Salvage.
I agree.
We found our boy.
He's well taken care of. The boy has a family.
The boy.
Okay. I'm sad. You know, this is also one I'm not super excited for, but I am more excited for this than I would be for Swamp Yeti, I think. Like,
oh, agreed.
Like,
at least we have the winter stuff.
Yeah, like Swamp Yeti, when that was first speculated and people were like, oh, it's going to be a follow-up to Slaughter Cinema as is. And this one is like, in the press release, it's like, yeah, on the back of Slaughter Cinema, we're doing this. But it's not Swamp. And I was like, okay, so there's going to be like rednecks and swampy times and maybe a gator or something. And I was like, yeah, that's all right. But I'm honestly more interested to see what this is.
Am I the only one hoping that because it's set in Canada, they're going to have the soundtrack? I mean, like, the soundtrack of the house will be partially the song Canadian Please by Gunnarolla?
I do not know this song, Connie.
I don't either.
I hope for your sake it's in there.
Yeah.
The only Canada song I know is the song "Oh Canada" by Five Iron Frenzy, a Christian ska band.
Oh, I'm gonna
Mackenzie.
I'm gonna send you guys this link because this song is great. It just lists
a
all the
Canada
things.
Song from the Canada Pavilion.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Martin Short cameo!
I hope so, and I really hope Celine Dion is in the house too.
Ooh, she's the Yeti. She's the Yeti. I called it.
I mean, did you guys see her Met Gala outfit? Of course she is.
You know what? I'm sold. It's a Celine Dion house. Never mind. It's my most anticipated.
Transition into Depths of Fear. Like, My Heart Will Go On will play.
Yeah, I'll take a drink to that.
Be real though. I'm more excited for this house now that I know it's a Charles Gray house because I have a soft spot for how he does narratives for originals.
Agreed. He does my favorite stories. Not always necessarily my favorite houses, but I agree. I like the way he sets up his I like the way he sets up his narratives too.
That would be exciting if we got another like dead exposure style like campaign for this house. Like the postcards and stuff.
Oh wow, yes, please. And this would be a good scenario for it as well, because if you're like in a distant remote place, you could only send snail mail back to your family.
Yeah.
I also am wondering if we're gonna get mild aesthetics from like The Thing.
Yes.
When I think of like a remote frozen over expedition, that's kind of
it's
the
the
first
thing,
thing
yeah.
that comes to mind. So, and that's obviously horror royalty. And I know Yetis are very different from that, but like, I don't know. I wonder if we're going to get some mild visual callbacks, because that seems like the kind of thing you'd get at HHN.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm sure I would love to see them use the Carpenter score for it.
Oh my God, nut.
Yeah.
And they've used so much Carpenter music in the past couple years. I don't see any reason why they couldn't.
Yeah, for sure.
The Hive, rip.
Who's going to stop them?
So that's about it for our Yeti discussion, I think.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. I'm
not neither. It's pretty straightforward at the same time that it's kind of,
In case I haven't said this before, I overall think that this year is kind of compared to what we've had the last few years. But I also think that's sort of to be expected leading into an anniversary at this point. it's been a trend for several years, for several anniversaries now. The only exception I can think of is like I know 2009 was banging, but yeah. So I'm kind of like given the benefit of the doubt. I know 24 surprised a lot of people, even though they thought the lineup sounded crappy. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be surprised.
I think if I can put my 2 cents on, I do think they are saving up a lot of their big concepts or like sequel houses to things and stuff for 30. But I will say 24 was the only pre-anniversary year I've experienced prior to this one. And I think there were like 2, maybe, 1 or 2 rock star houses that year that people remember and love. Or at least have cult followings, but otherwise it was pretty like, meh.
AVP, Dollhouse, and Giggles and Gore, I would say all.
I was going to say AVP and
hit
Dollhouse.
with people.
Yeah.
And Halloween. Halloween was that year, and that was like.
That was a big deal, yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah, I agree. And even Giggles and Gore is questionable. I think
I wouldn't have counted it, yeah.
I just so happen to know a lot of people that were in that house, so I feel like in my circles it's well loved, but like through a lens of bias.
Yeah. I feel like I don't hear people like talk about that house a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like
agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, not the way they do about Dollhouse or Halloween.
Yeah, those come up all the time as people's favorite whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, agreed.
I mean,
and I really don't know what from this year. I mean, as far as IPs go, again, anyone who follows along with speculation, I think we all know what the big hitter is this year. And if anything is going to get hella remembered, it's going to be that.
Yeah.
As far as originals, I don't really know yet. I cannot say that I'm excited for Nightingales. I'm really excited for Nightingales, but I'm not excited for where it's going. That has really changed my opinion on what I think the house is going to be.
Do we know where it's going?
What was that?
Do we know where it's going?
It's going where Dead Exposure was. Tent 2.
Oh, right.
Or maybe no, it was Tent 2 where Slaughter was. Whatever. It's going in one of those 2 tents. I don't fucking care. It's going in a tent.
And it feels like it should be in a soundstage.
I agree. I feel like the control you get over lighting, the control you get over water effects, like there's just a lot of benefits to being in a soundstage that concept in particular needs. I don't understand why our Yeti friend is not in a tent, because I'm expecting, I mean, I guess forests are easier in a soundstage, but I feel like they pulled off the forest aspect of Swamp Yeti just fine. It felt like a forest.
Yeah,
you're gonna have hopefully lots of confined spaces in like these ice caves, these little cabins. So that's the one I thought. And I know
it definitely requires a lot of open set.
Yeah. And I know that Swamp Yeti's not going to be cold. Everybody says that, but like they have not genuinely done a cold house since I think Winter's Night. And that was in a specific soundstage that was small enough to make it worthwhile to make it that cold. We're all pretty sure that Yeti is going into a soundstage shared with another house. And for the sake of the other house, you can't crank the air down just for one of them. So.
But I want to be cold.
I want to be cold too. The last cold house we had was Poltergeist, and I'm not even sure if that was intentional. It was just really cold in there.
It was super fucking cold in there.
Yeah, the cast had little hand warmers that they'd wear in their pockets and in their bras, and I was like, wow, you guys, I feel really bad.
I mean, I would prefer that to sweating it out, but that's just me. That's personal preference.
The thing is, you still get sweaty. Like the first American Horror Story was really cold too, and I would get. I don't think it was quite Poltergeist. Well, actually, it may have been Poltergeist cold. I would freeze, but I was still sweaty because I was moving a lot. Oh my God, I thought that was a gunshot. It was a firework.
This is America.
Happy America, guys.
Happy America.
I didn't really write anything else down about speculation. Is there anything you guys wanted to touch on?
No.
I don't think so. I feel like we are all kind of lackluster on this year compared to prior years.
I mean, I'm excited. I'm prepared to be excited. Like I'm prepared to be there and have fun and do fun things. It's just the things they're telling me so far aren't things that make me jump with joy. I just go, oh, that's gonna be really fun. Yeah. And then I sit back and go, okay, and now what am I gonna have for lunch? And it's quesadillas again.
Sounds great though. Yeah, that's kind of how I am. I don't know. This year I was not super hyped for it like early in the year, and now that I know I'm like not even gonna be in the same state as the event, I'm like even less excited because I'm not very connected to it. But I don't know. Maybe when I get there opening night, I'll be like, wow, that was gravy.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping too, is like being there will be a fun time and everything.
It's definitely gonna be a fun time. Because it's still Halloween Horror Nights. It's not like, I don't know. I'm putting this out into the universe, Old Studios. We're gonna have a fun time.
Yeah.
I appreciate your positivity, Connie. We'll see what happens when I actually get there.
There will be no singing. I will actually blindfold you, and that will be part of the fun.
Well, maybe that'll help.
That's a new part of Connie's haunted house Uber service.
Yes.
She blindfolds you, drives you to the event, so you have no idea where you are.
Yes, and we put you in a wheelchair once you're there, so again, you won't know where you are. You won't know what house you're going into.
Scream. Okay, well, that's gonna do it for us today, I think. Unless there's anything else you guys wanted to address.
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I really wanted to let everybody get back to their Stranger Things binge or be out in time to watch fireworks. So I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Methinks so.
All right. So we'll get into plugs. You can find me at luckbealady21 on Twitter. My profile picture is actually me now. I decided to switch it up. It's really fun, yeah. I'm also doing a podcast called Birdwatching about every iteration of The Crow and its impact on popular culture. I'm currently about halfway through scripting an episode for it. If you want to be a guest on that show, let me know. I'm
really like The Crow.
I mean, even if you didn't, talk to me about it.
I'm telling you, I'll do it. I just have to read it first.
Yeah. And my pick for the week or however long until our next episode is please go see Midsummer. It looks really interesting, and I can't wait to see it.
Big same. I second that pick of the week.
See. I'll go next because that's how we did lineup this morning. You can find me. I'm Connie. Hi. You can find me at Connie Wayne on Twitter or at ConLaConCon on Instagram. Just as like a heads up, I know it's been a hot minute since we last talked, me and you personally, the audience member. But I did finish uploading all of the latest, or all of the rest of our backlog of episodes onto Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, etc. And this one will go up hopefully later tonight. YouTube is weird, so when I take it from YouTube, I have to give it like a little delay for YouTube to format it correctly. Whatever. So today, maybe tomorrow morning, but it'll be there if you're looking for it. And go to your fucking library.
Yeah.
All right. Stand the Xandarian Chamber Orchestra.
Oh my god.
That's it.
I gotta drink.
That's my plug.
Is that really
that was it?
Really, that's it.
Okay. All right. You know what? That is such dedication. I really appreciate that. First off, I would like to give a formal thank you to Connie for uploading our episodes.
Yes.
Making us accessible to the masses. It means a lot. Number two, we will be posting another episode other than this one coming up very soon. We're actually going to record another one tonight. And so tune in again soon to hear us talk about things that aren't horror nights. And then my personal
still scary.
But still fun and scary.
Still scary. We're still going to talk about haunted houses, just not the HHN ones, because more of them are out there, I promise. Mm-hmm. Just like many fish in the sea, there's many ghosts in this haunted house we call America. That was really poetic, right?
I love that.
Thank you. Anyways, I was Mel. I'm not anymore. Because the episode's over and I cease to exist when you stop hearing my voice. But you can follow me and see the phantoms of my previous existences on Instagram, Twitter at Mel's Diane, all one word, Mel's with 2 L's. Also on TikTok to see my fantastic makeup that gets removed and flagged for absolutely no reason.
It is really good though.
Thank you. I don't actually know if it's good, but I do get really, really mad when my stuff gets taken down. But either way, please check out my TikTok. I do lots of theme park humor. I put a lot of effort into my garbage. And yeah, that's about it. My recommendation for the week is to go to the Bath & Body Works semi-annual sale before it ends in 2 days. Because there's a loophole right now where you can get 3 candles for less than the price of 1. And I promise I'm not trying to sell for the store. I just love candles. And I also, Fuck the bourgeoisie.
The bird. Work.
Word. Industrialism queen.
I think about that one so much.
All right, we better go before we say more incriminating things. Goodbye, everyone. Enjoy your 4th.
Bye.
The money